Diplomacy is meant to undertake, to have good relations with other countries. And usually in the perception of the normal people, diplomacy is always meant government to government. But at the end, one of the major objectives of diplomacy is also to have friendly relations, not only between governments, but also between the people of countries. If you want to reach the people, you cannot do it without the knowledge about their culture, about their heritage, about their present, the way of life, and also of their dreams about the future. And this is only possible when you have also a cultural diplomacy. So the cultural diplomacy in Germany has a huge history also over the last 30 years. I mean, there was a Chancellor, Willy Brandt, who used to be also a foreign minister, and he called the cultural diplomacy as the third pillar of foreign policy. And I think, you know, providing information about a country, I mean, for Germany, about its society, about its agenda in this society, about its culture, and also about its educational system, etc. This is helping not only for us to explain how Germans are thinking, but it also may inspire interest in an exchange and a dialogue between people. And the more you have exchange and dialogues, and you can have it in a variety of fields, the more you have better understanding, you contribute to tolerance, you contribute to prevent polarization. And when you look around the world with a lot of crises all over, then I think the time for cultural diplomacy is not only coming or is there, but it's an absolutely need to have it, and even more nowadays. I mean, when you look to what instruments can contribute to have a cultural diplomacy which is fostering friendly and good relations among people, then exhibitions play a big role, but also sport events like the UAE in 2019. They have Special Olympics, which is a huge event too. So there are a lot of events which bringing people together, trigger interest in each other, and therefore support mutual understanding. And the Portrait of a Nation was a splendid exhibition in Berlin. I think it was the second Emirati exhibition in Germany, and it was the largest Emirati exhibition in Europe. It triggered enormous interest. It got on the hot list of the best must-seen events in Berlin during the Berlin Art Week, and with the partially also presence of artists, Emirati artists, and workshops and events around it. It was a perfect occasion and opportunity to explain the country, the variety and the richness, and also what is the UAE today. You know, the culture is not a static thing. It is the heritage, it's the presence, and also the future. And therefore, I think it's always good to have also young artists, because they are representing the variety of a nation's culture. And I think personally I had also brothers who were visiting the exhibition, and they were very impressed by it, as a lot of people in Berlin. I think on the long term is, I think we have to understand the importance of cultural diplomacy, not only by some government officials and others, but also by the society as a whole. And I think institutions like ATMAF or the German Cultural Institute, Goethe Institute, are very important players in this in order to bring this about. Mutual understanding is essential, and events to help this are not enough. I mean, there is never enough. You could always or should always have more and more. And for me personally, I think more events like the Portrait of a Nation exhibition or music events. Music is in some kind of international language. It brings people together, like in the UAE anyway. There are a lot of people from all over the world coming together. And I think this is the right platform to create mutual understanding, which is also the basis at the end for fostering values we have, like tolerance, like also love for and respect for big cultural heritage of other countries. I think we have an organization for fostering international cultural relations. It's the UNESCO, but that's an authority. If you want to bring this to life, then you have to have more and more people, countries, NGOs, whatever, to cultural institutes, but also individuals to bring this about. And I think when we have a world which is so closely connected by social media, I think it's very important also to increase the level of cultural diplomacy. And I'm quite happy that the new government of Germany, they appointed a Minister of State for cultural, international cultural policy. So this underlines also the importance Germany on the official side is attaching to these objectives. The Abu Dhabi Festival has, first of all, I think a wide range of topics. It's not only music, it's sometimes dance or other areas of art. It is bringing artists and musicians from a total variety of countries. So it's already by the selection of the individual events showing that the world is more than just one country. So it's a very good platform for linking the cultures of different nations. I think triggering interest in individuals is always the best to work on, and events like they are taking place in the Abu Dhabi Festival, when they have a good audience, then these audience hopefully one day become themselves some kinds like ambassadors of the idea of cultural diplomacy, which would be a perfect outcome. I just would like to say that diplomacy, cultural diplomacy, also tourism, also events like Expo 2020 or the Special Olympics in 2019 here in this country, and events like the Staatskapelle Dresden, who has been here, Or also, for example, I just recently visited in Fujairah the German archaeologists who are excavating a rich heritage from the Bronze Age. So all this is contributing to bring people together, and bringing hearts and minds of people together is a very proactive and peace-orientated policy, and therefore I think it's very important to have it. And concerning ATMAF, I would say we appreciate very much that they made all this huge effort in preparing this exhibition, Portrait of a Nation, and to bring it to Germany, and we are very proud we could have it. And I'm also in a way very proud and satisfied that we have with Nina Heidemann also a vivid example of a good cultural diplomacy agent within ATMAF.